a lot of services and programs that we have are specifically designed for refugees coming through the Institute, but we do have some services and programs that are also accessible to immigrants.
Hello and welcome to a new episode of Members on Air and HCC podcast. This is our brand new podcast and it's our third episode of the year. Today we have Carlos Suarez. He's the Community Support Manager at the International Institute of St. Louis. Before we get talking to you, Carlos, I just want to remind everybody to follow us on our social media accounts, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter. Like and subscribe our YouTube channel. And now talking with Carlos Suarez, like I previously mentioned, he's the Community Support Manager at the International Institute of St. Louis. Just tell us a little bit about who Carlos Suarez is.
Well, thank you so much, Miguel, for having me today, and excited to be here and share more about the work of the International Institute. But myself, born and raised here in St. Louis, Cuban descent. My father's from Cuba, and also some Lebanese in my background. But I was working as a community support manager at the International Institute. I oversee work with our partners, with community partners here in the St. Louis community that are working alongside new arrivals or newcomers to the St. Louis region of refugees and immigrants, making their welcome to St. Louis a very nice and great experience, as well as overseeing a lot of logistical components that incorporates, such as transportation and coordinating with volunteers, housing and the work that goes into establishing housing for those that are coming newly, and the likes. As being born and raised here, I went to school here as well, graduated with a bachelor's in business administration and international business from the University of Missouri, St. Louis. I've been working predominantly in the nonprofit or international NGO space for the most of my adult career, and for another NGO for several years, and then also here in the startup space, here in the St. Louis community and out of Cortex a little bit. So, and now back in that sweet spot of kind of, that nonprofit mission-driven work, especially working with a lot of diverse individuals. So yeah.
Yeah, no, that's great. And as a community support manager, well, we've been together for like an hour maybe, and you've gone like 1,000 calls. So I know that you're probably really busy. You were talking about logistics. I'm assuming you have to like coordinate everything that's going on for like immigrants, people that are coming here, and everything. And that's like your job at the International Institute. Let's talk a little bit about the International Institute. Like, what's the mission, the vision, why it's important in St. Louis?
Yeah, definitely. Well, the International Institute of St. Louis was established in 1919. So we've celebrated our 103rd anniversary in the recent past. And our mission and vision is to create a welcoming and inclusive society by welcoming immigrants and refugees, to create a welcoming, prosperous, and healthy region for all. So that's our core mission, and the work that we do connects a lot of the resources here in the community. We serve the people through those connections, as well as diversifying the resources that are available for the clients, and building upon that, and really being advocates for refugees here in the community and immigrants.
And like you were just mentioning refugees, right? I saw on your website you guys have a refugee resettlement program. How does that work, and what is that?
So the International Institute of St. Louis is a resettlement agency, and we're the sole resettlement agency for the St. Louis region and the state of Missouri, or we have offices throughout the state as well. But what that means is that we work with federal partners in receiving refugees. So those that are designated as a refugee or have refugee status, and welcoming them to the St. Louis region, and helping them get established with creating a new life here. Refugee is someone who's fleeing from persecution based on religion, violence, conflict, discrimination. So we're providing a safe harbor or experience here in the St. Louis community or in the United States for refugees as well as other parts of the world. But here we're able to provide that level of comfort for those that are reestablishing a life and looking forward to a brighter future.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. You said that you guys take care of the refugees and immigrants that are coming into the St. Louis area. Are you guys the only ones doing that in St. Louis?
Well, in terms of a resettlement agency for refugees, yes, but I mean, we work with a lot of partners that are supporting the work. So it can't just be done by one organization or group or individual. It's done by collective work. So we work a lot with community partners, the government, City of St. Louis, the state, and a number of entities to really collaborate and make really St. Louis known and welcoming for not just refugees, but immigration and attracting talent to the St. Louis community.
Yeah, no, that's great, especially because I know, well, refugees in particular, but immigrants are not refugees as well. When they come to a different country, like the transition from like your culture, your country to the United States in this example, like it can be very stressful and like scary, and like a lot of people might not even know the language. And you guys also, I know that I saw that you guys help with education. And you, when you say education, do you guys do like English classes, Spanish? Like what kind of education do you mean by that?
So English class, education. We have an entire department dedicated to education for those that are coming to St. Louis and those that want to utilize those services, and that stems from anywhere from English classes, basic to more advanced. It includes computer literacy, and for those that are needing more to improve those computer skills, because computer is essential to also success in many things. So those core elements are really key, and also classes for becoming a U.S. citizen. And professional development or transitioning into a new career, especially someone who had a professional role of like a doctor or a physician, lawyer that might not translate or transfer here.
Like being that
and
because I'm pretty sure if you're a doctor somewhere else, you can't be a doctor here, right?
Yeah,
you have pretty much start from scratch.
Exactly. So we have our careers to pathways that helps with those kind of situations, and lots of support to help with connections and a workforce development team.
Okay. And like I know you touched a little bit about like people that come with different being a doctor, being a lawyer, and then having to come here and not being able to do that. You guys also have like you guys help with careers. Just dig a little bit into that. Like what kind of careers do you guys help them with? And
well, I would say it really depends on the skills and what the client is looking to achieve and accomplish. From refugees that are coming to St. Louis, we have an entire workforce solutions team that is working with employers that want to hire talent from the International Institute that are coming here, knowing what skills that they're looking for, what location, their needs, what they're providing, and also matching that with the skill sets of the clients that are coming through, looking to see what skill sets clients have and best matching that with employers. So we've had over the course of the last year a lot of outreach from different employers from the region to the International Institute, and so our workforce solutions really helps be that, I guess, matchmaker from job seeker to then or find that career path in the best way for the client.
So does anybody that, like, as an example, if I'm an immigrant but I don't know anything from the International Institute, can I just go there and ask about careers and you guys will guide me, or do you guys just do that with certain individuals?
A lot of services and programs that we have are specifically designed for refugees that are coming through the Institute, but we do have some services and programs that are also accessible to immigrants in the St. Louis community. I would say some of it's just limited, but we are, our vision is to really be a focal point for the St. Louis community for immigrants and refugees.
Okay. You guys have also been, well, you said you guys are already starting to do that because I know you've been heavily involved. The creation of new Afghan Chamber of Commerce. Can you talk a little bit about that? I don't know how much you can go into detail or not before they are actually.
Well, happy to share more.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so part of our strategic plan, or for our planning for the year, the last couple of years, was the establishment of an Afghan Chamber of Commerce. We learned from the resettlement time when the Bosnians came in the 90s that establishing businesses and economic opportunities for newcomers to the St. Louis region, that was really helped the community thrive and help those with, especially with entrepreneurial skill sets, to thrive. And so establishing Afghan Chamber of Commerce is a pivotal part. The reason why we're establishing an Afghan Chamber is because we're creating critical mass. We've resettled over around 800 individuals in the last year, specifically from Afghanistan here in St. Louis. There's also an existing Afghan community here in St. Louis, and we're expecting more Afghans to come.
Yeah.
And one way to attract also more Afghans, not just from through resettlement, but other Afghans from the U.S. through secondary migration.
Okay. So like not only coming straight from Afghanistan, but also like they might be all over the states.
Exactly. So we're creating a lot of opportunities, and we believe that establishment of the Afghan Chamber will help attract talent, resources, businesses to set up, establish, and be successful here in the region. We've also created more opportunities to support these businesses, such as a entrepreneur business grant competition.
Oh, okay.
That's a $15,000 grant to go towards entrepreneur. And
so what is that? How does that work? How can someone apply for that? Or
well, so we have an application online actually until January 28th for the second round of the grant. Restrictions include an Afghan and have arrived to St. Louis after August, but
so you have to be an Afghan. You have to be in St. Louis since August of last year.
August of 2021.
2021. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
After August of 2021. So some of those are the required criteria because we want to give these opportunities to those that are coming fairly new to the St. Louis community. We have provided a grant already to a local mechanic shop owner who had recently established a mechanic shop within about 6 months of coming to the St. Louis community, and has been successful since, and is trying to raise capital to invest in more equipment to hire, grow, be able to do more business. So that's been a great success story, and this Afghan Chamber of Commerce is really to build a community around that, and be a beacon for connecting businesses and building that professional development for the Afghan community. And we're excited to host the official grand launch on February 10th.
Yeah, that's great. Congrats.
And happy to have partnered with the Hispanic Chamber on the former location. So
yeah, no, we're happy to help with whatever they need. We're happy to help. Now moving on a little bit, on your website, well, I think it's like a big thing here in St. Louis. I saw it last year too, the Festival of Nations. You guys organize that event. Just tell us a little bit about, for people who don't know, which I think is very few people, because the majority of the people know.
Yeah, no, thanks. So the Festival of Nations is an annual multicultural celebration to bridge cultures and inspire action. Features a ton of amazing talent and artists throughout the course of 2 days, typically in Tower Grove Park. That's held every year, late summer in August. This past year, it hosted over 200,000 people in the park over that weekend.
That's awesome.
And we're really excited to continue to evolve the festival and how to really, share culture from around the world and inspire people to, educate, connect, and really inspire what it means to live in a diverse and inclusive community. And the Festival of Nations really does a great job of representing that.
Yeah.
Work with a lot of vendors who are even previous clients of ours that have come to St. Louis. A lot of great stakeholders from the St. Louis community support it. And it's a really great family-friendly event that people enjoy, from celebrating with music, dance, culture, food especially. And so this year we're also looking to host it at Tower Grove Park again last weekend of August. So.
That's awesome. I hope everything goes well. How can someone, if a vendor's listening to us or watching the YouTube video, how can they like reach out? Do they just reach out to you guys? Is there gonna be a...
Well, stay posted. We'll
Yeah.
make announcements when it comes to vendors, especially for food and artists. And so those announcements will be made shortly.
For sure. I know we're still in January, but
we'll be working with the chamber, I'm sure,
Yeah.
on promoting that
for
as
sure.
well.
For sure. Plus, I closed my eyes in November and then I opened them back and it's mid-January already.
Exactly.
So that's also why I brought it up.
Time goes by really fast.
It really does. I don't know if I don't think you've mentioned this. Have you, when an immigrant comes here, can you guys give them like immigration advice, or do you guys have someone that you refer them to, like immigration status or like, yeah?
Yeah. So when someone comes here, we do have an immigration department that works with individuals. There's different maybe statuses, immigration status, but when it's really essential for us to work alongside the client and so that they know and can apply for like a green card, for example, after a few years of being here, and know what the next steps of the process are. So for one, they're not stuck in limbo or confused, because the legal system here is extremely confusing.
Yeah, it really is.
And two is provide a pathway to citizenship, and if they so choose. So yeah.
Yeah, no, that's great. Are those services like do that people they have to pay for them? Or are those free for you? Like, could you guys provide them? How does that work?
We do have, I believe, a combination of some that's included, but also we do have fee for service that are provided at the Institute.
Okay. How can someone get involved with the Institute?
Yeah, so actually...
Or donate at the same time, maybe volunteer, maybe donating.
All the above, yeah.
All of the above, yeah.
So volunteering is actually a huge part of the work that goes on at the International Institute. We couldn't do even half as much of the work if it weren't for volunteers.
Okay.
And so volunteers, for one, they can get involved through a number of our programs and departments that have specific needs. So depending on what somebody's interested in doing or their skill sets, they can volunteer at the International Institute. We also host, I would say, almost monthly volunteer orientations. So really shares the work that we're doing, but also shares how they can get involved and what that impact is going to look like.
Yeah.
I would say some of the core volunteering opportunities are working along the resettlement or our workforce, providing interview workshops, skills, and resume building, to setting up apartments as we're welcoming newcomers with housing, as well as, or if you want to pair and support a family, we can also create that opportunity, because it really helps with integration and working alongside a family and building, strengthening the fabric of our community through that kind of support. We do have also accept in-kind donations, especially household items that are going into apartments as we set them up, and also.
What do you mean? Like, you mean like couches, sofas, or like what do you mean by that?
I would say more along the lines of microwaves.
Oh, okay.
Pots and pans, silverware. More of those items are extremely helpful because we do set up apartments right before someone arrives or a family arrives. We also, always accept donations. We're a nonprofit organization, so that always goes a long way to support our mission.
That's great. Anything else you would like to tell our viewers, our listeners, before we wrap it up?
Well, so this year also marks a big year of launching our Multicultural Center of Excellence in honor of Anna Crossland, our former president and CEO. And we'll be launching that here in the spring. And that's going to be a way of fostering multiculturalism here for organizations, individuals, companies that want to be more inclusive and diverse, and really have a sense of what it means to share other perspectives.
Yeah.
And so there's going to be a lot of cool programming, events, activities.
That's awesome.
A way for the community to really engage and think outside the box. So we're really looking forward to the launch later this spring, and we hope to have everyone more involved in that process.
No, that's great. I didn't know that. I hope everything goes well. I'm assuming you're going to be very busy in the next next couple of months as well.
Well, there's always something new going on, so we're got a lot of exciting activities.
It's a non-profit, so
that too.
That too, yeah. Well, thank you, Carlos, for being here with us today. I appreciate you being our guest.
Thank you so much, Miguel, and it was great speaking with you and sharing more, and looking also forward to more collaboration with the Hispanic Chamber and expanding our collaborative work together.
Well, thank you. That's great. We have reached the end of Members on Air. I am Miguel Rincan, Carlos Suarez, and we'll see you guys in the next one.